So the last time we checked in with the WWF in 1997, it was In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell, a show that I gave 1.5 out of 10. So tonight, when we're doing the King of the Ring, it'll be better, won't it? I mean, it's the King of the Ring, for goodness sake. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of 97th Heaven. Now tonight we're going to be looking at WWF King of the Ring 1997. Now you all know, if you're a long-time viewer of mine, you'll know that I was never a fan of the King of the Ring. Oh, but Mark, it creates new stars. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. Yeah, the winner of this one is a case in point. Vince McMahon and Jim Ross on commentary as the King is in the King of the Ring finals, if you can believe that. Actually, it would be wrong of me to not mention that 2 weeks before this show, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels had defeated the British Bulldog and Owen Hart to lift the Tag Team Championships in an absolutely stellar match. One of the best matches that's ever happened on Raw. Absolutely guarantee. Like I say, not a fan of the King of the Ring at all, but that's not going to prejudice me in any way. That's weird. I pressed down then, and it went to the very bottom of my 3 pages of notes. That's weird, isn't it? Anyway, so the opening contest was Triple H Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeating A.Johnson to advance to the finals of the King of the Ring. Not a very good match. A.Johnson had defeated Triple H to get to here, but Vader was meant to be the other guy who was, getting to get in, and he was injured, so Triple H got another shot and beat Crush to get to the pay-per-views. Do you ever watch a match and think to yourself like, wow, that guy's really over? Like, you don't remember him being as over as he clearly is there. This is one of those matches because A.Johnson was ridiculously over in this one. Everything he did, the crowd were going mental for. Like, for example, at one point he got Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Did you know the old gorilla press thing, where he does this with him? Place went absolutely fucking nuts. The problem is, of course, is that A.Johnson was a sloppy mess. He fucked up an axe kick, for example, in this match. You know, an axe kick, Booker T used to do them all the time. It's meant to land on the neck, yeah? His foot hit the lower back of Triple H, and it's like, yeah, that wasn't meant to happen at all, was it? It's not like he was deliberately going or deliberately targeting the lower back. No, you didn't suit to the neck. Followed it all with a crap-looking spine buster. Basically, it goes like this, is that A.Johnson completely controlled this match all the way through. Triple H got nothing in. Absolutely nothing in, right? Until the very end, where Chyna distracts A.Johnson. Chyna's on the outside. Yeah, Chyna must say something to him. He looks down. Triple H is able to knee him in the back, yeah, and hit the pedigree to get the win. And you're just like, wow, really? That's the match. I mean, the thing about this match is, firstly, is that the crowd favourite to win the King of the Ring was A.Johnson. So they were well into him throughout the match, but they didn't give a fuck when they were really pissed off when he lost. Secondly, I mean, it wasn't even a very good match at that. I'm going to go half a star for the crowd and half a star for the match. 1-star match. And then in the other quarterfinal, or semi-final, whichever one it is, Mankind defeated Jerry Lawler in another alright match to advance to the finals. This was around the time, I'm sure you remember it, Mankind was he did some sit-down interviews with Jim Ross on Raw, and was sort of explaining the backstory to the character, gave the character a bit of depth, and slowly but surely, this turned Mankind babyface, which is what he was here. This was, I mean, Mankind got to promo before the bell about Uncle Paul not being there, of course, Paul Bearer, that is, and then Lawler cuts a promo. It's so dated and horrible. Just remind me, it's just one-liners, and the point is that Mankind's ugly. Let's put it that way. Mankind beat Savio Vega to get to the pay-per-view, and Jerry the King Lawler had beaten Goldust to get to the pay-per-view. It's an interesting one with this one because Lawler keeps using foreign objects in this match, yeah, but we don't see them, right? I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but this is what happens, basically. He puts his hand in his pants, yeah, and pulls out what you think is an object. He then hits Mankind with it, and then you see him put it back. But at no point do you see what's in his hand. Yeah, to the point where, later on, when he does it again, the referee's like, what the hell have you got in your hand? And he does that. Nothing, I haven't got any hand back. So what's he hitting him with? It's a very strange one. Other one interesting about this, or a strange one, is the psychology of it, because Jerry the King Lawler works the ear of Mankind, the one that was ripped off, that's what he works. Now, I don't quite understand the psychology of that. You know, beating on the head is one thing, but actually targeting the ear to the point where he bites what's left of the ear. I mean, Nick sells it, so that's something, I suppose. They brawl on the outside, right? Where Lawler gets a pile driver on the outside, and you start thinking to yourself, well, he's not going to get the win. He hasn't pulled the strap down. Come on, I've seen enough King matches to know that when the strap goes down and the fist off the second rope comes down and the pile driver comes down, then you're in shit creek. But if he does it on the outside with the strap still up, yeah, he's going to kick out. That's just how it is. It's just how it's going to kick out. Anyway, King botches a neck breaker, then drops a fist off... Oh yeah, sorry, he does a pile driver in the ring, and you're still not thinking to yourself, yeah, you're still not going to get the win because you haven't pulled your strap down. He botches a neck breaker, he drops a fist off the second rope, he goes to another pile driver, that's reversed into a mandible claw, and that's what gets the victory. Odd psychology, it's sloppy in places. Again, though, the crowd loved it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Into everything. In the back, Brian Pillman cuts a wide-eye promo. It's like he'd taken a line, he snorted like a line of coke that was this long and this fat, like 2 seconds before the cameras roll, because his eyes are enormous. And he starts running down Stone Cold. And then Austin's behind him, basically, you know, and attacks him, drags him into a toilet, and pushes his head into the bowl, which is nice. Excuse me. And then Goldust defeated Crush in a rubbish match, our only dud of the evening. Crowd were hot at the very start of this match here. When this match started, the crowd were well into it. And then as the match went on and on and on, they just lost interest completely to the point where the rest of the match played out to silence. Crush absolutely dominated as well. And then Goldust got the win with a DDT completely out of nowhere. And you're just like, oh, that's nice. And then, isn't it another interesting but actually not very good match? Owen Hart, Jim Neidhart and the British Bulldog defeated the Legion of Doom, right? And Psycho Sid. Now, I've had a complete brain fail here. I don't remember Psycho Sid turning babyface one bit. But he is mega over with the fans. Before they come out, though, we get the typical shouty promo from the Legion of Doom. I mean, I've been doing a lot of... I've watched the Legion of Doom's DVD recently because it's on Netflix, and I'm currently reading Road Warrior Animal's book on my Kindle at the moment. And so I've been a little more interested in the Legion of Doom recently. But one thing I'm watching about this fucking promo is like, guys, you don't need to shout. You don't need to shout at all. And then Sid, of course, does his shouty promo. Weird dynamic in this one because you've got 3 guys who are the baby faces here: Animal, Hawk, and Sid. Which one of those 3 plays the proverbial face in peril? And you're like, I don't know. So you're watching this match going, so this is surely just going to be a squash. Surely. Yeah, while he's not in the ring, we get a "We Want Sid" chant, right? The faces dominate for quite a while, actually. And then of the 3, the only one who ever seemed to ever want to play the face in peril was Animal. So Animal gets beat, yeah. He gets the hot tag to Hawk, and he comes, he does the usual, yeah. He gets power driven and completely no sells it like Hawk, right? What's scary is this is a really hot tag here. The fans really pop for when Hawk gets tagged in. But my God, when Sid gets tagged in, it's an even hotter tag. You can't believe how fucking hot the tag is for it. Sid hits a chokeslam on the Bulldog, yeah, and he goes for the powerbomb on Owen. He's got Owen in between his legs for the powerbomb. Sorry, on Bulldog, I'm sorry. He goes to the powerbomb on Bulldog. Owen, though, goes to the top rope, yeah, hits a really piss-poor looking sunset flip, and that gets the win. And what bothers me about this one is, other than the fact that it's a piss-poor looking sunset flip, yeah, is the moment the 3's gone down, Sid pops up as if it's absolutely nothing, which of course makes you think to yourself, well, why would you stay down? You know? It's one of those things. The match was 10 times better than I was expecting. The crowd helped it a lot, but at the same time, it's another one of these matches that, you know, yes, it was better than I expected, but bear in mind, I was expecting a dud level match. So it's a 1.5 stars. It's a 1-star match, and once again, the crowd are so into everything that you're just like, wow, okay. Then, Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeated Mankind to win the King of the Ring in another in a show full of 1.5 stars kind of match. This is an interesting one because I know what's coming up in the future. I know these 2 meet at Canadian Stampede, and I remember it being a good match. I know they meet at SummerSlam in a cage match that I know is pretty good as well. This one isn't. This one goes 20 minutes, yeah. 10 minutes into it, there is a quite noticeable boring chant. Genuinely. Triple H works the neck all match, which is good, but at the same time, Jerry had worked the ear. So, you know, this is what I was saying before. If he'd worked the neck, not a problem, but he work the ear, and I just don't get that. I just don't understand it. Cactus hits a cactus elbow, which is nice. In my opinion, this match is 5 minutes too long. Mankind gets a double arm DDT, with China distracts the referee, so he gets 2. Then Triple H pedigrees Mankind through the announce table. As he's recovering, China then, Mankind sort of pulls himself up for that, gets, places crawl onto the apron, and China gets the scepter, because they have a scepter and a crown for the King of the Ring, whacks Mankind around the back of that, which is mean, and then it's like, he lands on, he falls off the apron and lands. There's a guy basically trying to tidy up the announce table, and he falls straight onto him. That's got to suck for him. And then Mankind crawls back to the ring, manages to kick out a 2, so Pedigree gets the win. Happy days. It's like I say, I know there's better coming. That's the benefit of hindsight. So if I was reviewing this, if this had happened last night, I mean, this is rubbish. It's 1.5 stars. If you're a very nice guy, once again, crowd. They got more into it towards the end, but the boring chant was noticeable. Hunter Helmsley is our King of the Ring. And then, the one match I was really looking forward to seeing is Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels fight to a draw, believe it or not. Hart Foundation come out first, and they want to issue a challenge to any 5 WWF superstars for the Canadian Stampede, so we all know what's coming there, which is going to be interesting. And then Brett cuts this promo saying that he issues the challenge. Excuse me. And then he says he's going to do some colour commentary. Problem is that the announce table, of the 3 they've got to use, they've got the Spanish, they've got the French, I think it is, and the English one. Excuse me. It's just made me laugh at us. Excuse me. Right. The pedigree on Mankind was through the English announce table. So Bret Hart says, well, I'm going to go and do some colour commentary. But Vince and JR are just like, well, we haven't got a spare headset for you because fucking Triple H destroyed it. So Bret kicks off on Vince. And you've got all the Hart Foundation kicking off on Jim Ross and Vince. So loads of referees come out and have to escort them to the back. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. This, as far as I know, and please correct me down here if I'm wrong, but this is the first time we've got one of what would become a Vince Russo stable over the next couple of years, is the wacky tag team partners who hate each other storyline. So Austin and Michaels don't get on, but they are the tag team champions. Think about it, over the next couple of years, we're going to see this thing a lot. Fully Loaded 98, for example, where Undertaker and Stone Cold won the championships together, etc., etc., etc. There was a lot of times over the next couple of years where this happened. This was as far as I know, though, this was not only the first time this happened, it was the first time on pay-per-view that the tag team champions had gone up against each other. I could be wrong. A few minutes into the oh man, this is one of those times where you shouldn't laugh, right? Because there's a few minutes into the match, there's a special Olympian in the front row, and by the looks of things, he'd either fallen or climbed over the guardrail, and he looked like he didn't have a fucking clue where he was. He really didn't. So when Shawn Michaels does the right thing and goes over and escorts him to the back, and you just sat there going, I don't know if that was meant to happen or not, I know I shouldn't be laughing at this because, he's not doing it on purpose, but it's like, I don't know. Anyway, this match was a really odd one because the crowd are really hot for it. They're really hot. They're almost rabid. But, oh man, this is, I've seen this match get rated 4 stars, 4.5 stars before, in fact. And I just can't see why, because there's no actual storytelling. There's a good wrestling match going on. Don't get me wrong. I gave this match 3 stars. And, if you wanted to give it 3.5, I probably wouldn't begrudge you on that one. But there's no psychology at all in this one. There's no selling in it either. It's just that everything they do in ring-wise, is crisp and nice and smooth and lovely. But there's no interaction between each of the moves at all. For example, they do a really, really crisp and nice and lovely pinning reversal sequence straight out of the cruiserweights from WCW type of thing. Reversal, 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 reversal. It looks absolutely fantastic. It goes nowhere though. The finish comes when referee Tim White gets bumped in the corner. Sweet Chin Music is counted into a stunner, but there's no referee. Austin revives Tim White and gives him a stunner. Sweet Chin Music by Michaels, but there's no ref, so Mike Chioda comes down, and instead of doing the right thing and counting the cover, he takes on Tim White. So what happens? What do you think happens when he turns around? Sweet Chin Music for Mike Chioda, of course. What else would it do? Wyatt is revived. He gets covers, but only gets 2 for Shawn. And then Earl Hebner comes down and disqualifies the both of them for attacking the referees. And the crowd do what I would do if I was in that crowd. I'd chant bullshit at them, and that's exactly what they do. It's enjoyable match. It is. It's not the 5-star classic that I've heard from so many people. It's heading towards 4 stars, and this is why I'm saying if you want to give it 3.5 stars, I'm not going to object at all. But that finish is awful, awful finish. That is the classic sports entertainment finish if you're ever going to see one. And you know, it spoils what was an enjoyable match. If they put some psychology in, for example, if they worked, I mean, what body part do you work? If Stone Cold works the leg, for example, he can't do the Sweet Chin Music. Can't do, you know, if his leg's injured, for example. But there just isn't any. There is no psychology, and it's like the thing that is about this matches, in my opinion, is disappointing because it's with athletes of this caliber, you know that they could put on a better match. Is the way I'm going to look at it. 3 stars. Best match of the night, though, unfortunately. And in the main event, The Undertaker defeating Farooq in a meh match to win the WWF Championship. I have absolutely no idea at all why people, why the people in charge, why Vince McMahon thought, do you know what people would really like to see? Undertaker defending the belt against Farooq. And you're like, no. I'd rather watch WCW, please, if that's all right. You know, the opposite show to this, you know, Great American Bash, main event is DDP versus Randy Savage, and their feud is really starting to hot up here. And you're like, okay, I'd rather go and watch that, please, not that. I don't want to see Farooq in the main event. This is the time where Paul Bearer is blackmailing The Undertaker. He's got his big secret hanging over his head. No idea what that will turn out to be. I'm sure it's nothing. And the reason that this Farooq got the title shot is because on Raw, Taker is facing Savio Vega. Looks like he's going to beat Savio Vega. Here comes Farooq to cost him the match, and that's your reason. That's pretty much it. This match is probably how you can imagine it's going to be, because of course Farooq was part of the Nation of Domination at the time, which was a big and sprawling, you know, group of guys. So of course the Nation keep interfering. So you know, there's that. But I mean, there are some alright things. There's Undertaker, for example, gets Farooq and he does the rope walk of death. But Hart, as he's halfway across the ropes, he decides, fuck it, they're there, might as well. Hits a massive elbow drop onto Crush and on Savio Vega, and I think it's D'Lo Brown on the outside. That's absolutely fantastic. Of course, the crowd love it. The crowd can't stand it, though, when Farouk's in control. Everything that Farooq does is met with utter interest. For example, he hits a really nice looking power driver, and it is a nice one. But it gets no reaction, and the subsequent resulting cover, which gets 2, gets no reaction at all. Yeah, there was a little bit of a murmur for the power driver. There was nothing at all for the cover. And it probably doesn't help that Farooq puts a chin lock on after. I mean, if you want to get the crowd into your match, don't put a fucking chin lock on. On the outside, Savio Vega and Crush, they keep arguing, and at one point, towards the end of the match, they argue. Farooq is distracted by him. When he turns around, he meets a tombstone pile driver, and that gets to win in 13 minutes. 13! If you can believe that shit. Fucking hey. Then, Paul Bearer demands that Undertaker chokes on Farooq, so he does 3 times each one. A bit more, you know, he takes a bit more persuasion to do it. But then A.Johnson, who of course is the voice of reason in the WWF, and he comes out and arguing and saying, look, why are you fucking listening to this guy? Why are you listening to him? And Undertaker's like, none of it, basically. Like, I don't care. So A.Johnson hits him with the Power River Plunge and then buggers off, which is nice. I'm going to guess we're going to see those 2 fight tomorrow night on Raw. Happy days, you'll agree, or something. Anyway, the point is that this was better than In Your House a Cold Day in Hell. But I'll tell you how much it was better. It was half a point better. I'm going to give this pay-per-view 2 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Say you've seen all of the King of the Rings, because obviously winning the King of the Ring did great things for Triple H's career. He became a main eventer, I'm sure you remember, and a multi-time WWF champion. 2 years later. Yes, he got involved with D-Generation X later on in this year. And yes, he was the leader of D-Generation X, and they did funny stuff in 1998, yeah? But it took until the middle of 1999, 2 years later, for Triple H to actually become a mega power, didn't it? It doesn't create new stars like people seem to think. You know, people look back at nostalgic eyes and go, look, the King of the Ring made stars. Yeah, when Billy Gunn became a great star, and so did Ken Shamrock, so did Triple H. You know, it's one of those things. I don't like the King of the Rings. Yeah, watch this to say you have. Watch Triple H versus, watch Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin to say you have, to see what you think of it. But the rest of the show is Oh, but it's so avoidable. It's, you know, not even funny how avoidable it is. So next time out, we're going to do Great American Bash 1997. I'd love to know what you thought of the King of the Ring 1997 down here. This series isn't getting the views that I wanted it to, so make sure you tell your mates about this one. And I will see you all very soon. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.